Brett Dawson at Paycom Center, which is pretty quiet now, but which was rocking about an hour ago. The Thunder, 138-136 overtime winners against the Golden State Warriors in a game that really harkened back to the heyday of this building and of the franchise, and fittingly against the Warriors, a team against which this Thunder franchise has so much history. A wild night. Thunder trailed by as many as 14, only made 5 of 29 three-point shots, and yet found a way to stay in the game with defense and a lot of Warriors mistakes. Those two things combined added up to 29 Warriors turnovers that led to 35 Thunder points. That kept OKC in the game on a night when it was only 5 of 29 from three, when outside shots really weren't falling. But the Thunder found ways to score, really aggressive inside the three-point line. They got to the foul line. They scored 78 points in the paint. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander shook off a slow start. He had 38 points. 5 assists, 5 steals, his 5th game this season with 5 or more steals. Jalen Williams, J-Dub, was spectacular, had 28 points, but especially great in the second half, and sometimes when the Thunder really needed somebody else to step up and help carry the offense, he did it. And Chet Holmgren, also not a real active offensive start. It's not like he was missing a lot of shots, he just wasn't super involved in the offense. He rallies back to score 21 points and makes the three biggest free throws of the night. The Warriors foul him on a three-point attempt with 7.7 seconds to play. He makes all 3 free throws to force overtime, and the Thunder didn't really control the OT, but they did get up by as many as 10 points. The Warriors kind of made a push, got it down to 3 at one point, a little bit more dramatic than it probably needed to be. But this was a night where, really, the story of the game was the Thunder getting back on track, finding a way to rally back and win after the loss at Houston, and finding a way to just kind of gut it out when shots didn't drop from the outside. But there was a little bit of a story, too, I think, in the building, in the way the crowd got into it, was asking some of the players after the game. And, Chet Holmgren talked about being a young kid, watching games here on television. The first he remembers are those Heat games in the finals. And seeing the sea of white shirts and the crowd being so loud and everybody talking about the atmosphere here. And these guys are finally getting to experience that now. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander talked about, his first year as a rookie with the Clippers, coming in here, with the Russell Westbrook and Paul George team, and how loud it got. And now getting to experience that this time around, as a player here. Those guys are enjoying it. The crowd clearly enjoyed tonight. There's so much history with these two teams, these two franchises, really. So many memories of big plays from Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green here. Those guys were pretty good tonight. The turnovers bit the Warriors, and the bench was fantastic. They had great opportunities to win the game. The Warriors are going to kick themselves for losing it because they made so many mistakes. A lot of their turnovers were Thunder steals. Great ball pressure from OKC, but a lot of them, too, were unforced. The Warriors have always been a high turnover team. But usually they were doing it at a high pace. Now they're a very controlled, slow-paced team and still making a lot of questionable decisions. They'll kick themselves for losing this one, but the Thunder can really feel good about themselves. Coming off that loss at Houston, a game that really, I think the vibes were kind of bad. It's not that the Thunder felt like, they didn't feel like they got shut down. Those guys have talked about it in the past couple of days, that they felt like really it came down to missing shots. But that Houston game, just the way the Rockets sagged off Josh Giddey and the ineffectiveness of the Thunder offense when that happened, I just think there were not great feelings about that loss. And I think this is a team that kind of just needed to get back on track. The Josh Giddey thing happened again today. The Warriors started out with Kevon Looney as his primary defender and dropped him way off. Giddey did make 1 3-pointer. He did not play a lot down the stretch, in part probably because of that defensive strategy. Often it was Draymond Green instead of Kevon Looney, but by dropping Draymond, playing him at the center spot, playing him way off Giddey, that gave him the chance to kind of roam and wreak havoc defensively, which he's so good at. And so the Thunder did some different things. Isaiah Joe played a lot of minutes. He was great defensively. Aaron Wiggins got a lot of minutes and played very well. Cason Wallace, kind of his standard lift off the bench, and so the Thunder were able to overcome some of that, the Josh Giddey defensive strategy that is getting thrown at them, and find a way to win, which they couldn't do in Houston. That seems pretty meaningful. OKC, while they haven't played a lot of games this week, nobody in the NBA has because of the in-season tournament and these 2 late scheduled games, they have practiced most of the week, and so Saturday they get a real genuine day off, back at practice on Sunday. And then the Utah Jazz come in here on Monday in a game the Thunder will be favored to win. We'll be here for that one. We'll have more coverage here at my YouTube page and at selloutcrowd.com, so check it all out.